Hello all, this video is about the work order workflow, which is something that is base functionality of CMMS, but that we have found that in some cases people are not well aware of all the steps that they need to take to go from a work request on to all the way to closed work order. Some users finish the process in the completion of a work order and they miss the last step, which is closing a work order. So let's take a look at that. Let's start by creating an anonymous work request and then make our way through to closing the corresponding work order from that work request. So okay, we start here with the dashboard, and as you can see over here there is a link, a shortcut, which now is inactive because there's 0 anonymous work requests. Now an anonymous work request is a work request that is created outside of the system by users that are not logged in, and there's some security issues with that, and therefore anonymous work requests are treated differently from a system work request, which is what you have in here. Any logged in system can immediately click on a shortcut here, which is what I'm going to do now, and we are taken to the manual work request creation inside the system. But if we are talking about anonymous work requests, we are one step before the creation of a work request inside the system, and this is because of what I said before about security issues that have because we are basically dealing with input of information from people that are outside of the system. So let's just quickly start, and by verifying that there are 0 anonymous work requests at the moment. Now I'm going to log out, and as you can see here, there's a generate work request button. We can come over here and we go to a form that looks very much like the form that we've seen before for a system work request, but this time is outside of the system. That means I did not have to log in to reach this form. Note that this you can as a logged in user, and if you have enough permissions, you can set messages at the top here, and in a lot of cases this is used to tell the system, the users, to not forget to provide some kind of contact so that they can be reached. Remember, this is by not logged in users, so we don't really have information about who is adding this information. Okay, so let's just think of something here very quickly. So we'll say that this is a breakdown, and it's a priority 2. It's a high priority job. No light on the stairs to the 2nd floor. Okay, so this is my summary, and just to make it simple, I'm just going to copy and paste the same for the description with please fix it. Name, just put my name and phone number. Okay, and at the end here you have the option to send an email to the creator of this work request, which I'm not going to do now. So let's just create this work request, and now let's go back to the system and let's log in, and let's go in. We will now see that here at the top there is an anonymous work request that is in that needs attention. So okay, basically what we're going to do is we'll click this shortcut. There are some permissions, as you can see, no permission to list, so it's good that this happened because I can show you how to change it. So I'm a org admin, so you come to modules configuration, user groups, manage existing groups, and then I'm an org admin, so you select that, and on the first tab that opens up work orders and work requests, you can see that I've got all my options set to off for the anonymous work requests. So here you can see can set the receive notification email option, so this is not what I'm looking for, but okay, I'll set this to on as well. And then can see list of anonymous work requests, which is what we couldn't do before, and this is also important because we will be editing and assigning anonymous work requests, so turn that to on as well. Now save your options, and now let's go back to the dashboard, and click on the shortcut up here, and now we are shown the information that was saved on the anonymous work request that we did before, but of course now I have permissions to list it. So okay, on the summary, add information, so that means you can put new information. You actually can delete the summary that the person wrote and write something else. Here you can write whatever you want. This is more information. Okay, and now you are given an option. You can either delete or you can approve it. We are not going to delete. If we delete it, that's it, it's gone. There's no problem. You can probably use this to deal with spam perhaps, which is not expected, but because this is indeed coming from outside the system, it may happen. Unlikely, but it may happen, so you can take care of it in here. By the way, something I forgot to mention is you can set your profile to receive emails whenever an anonymous work request is created, so you don't have to remember to come here. You can be sent an email to say that you have to come here. Okay, so in this case, let's proceed. Let's approve it. Once you click approve, what in fact you are doing, are you sure you want to approve the selected items? Yes. What in fact you are doing is you are turning an anonymous work request into a system work request. So now if we come to the dashboard, we'll see that there's 0 pending anonymous work requests. Yes, because we've just approved it. But we have that work request that we just approved as a system work request. And just to make it different from the other ones, because now it's basically a work order like any other work order in the system. But just to make sure that we don't forget this comes from an anonymous source, this tag is always added to and automatically added to all anonymous work requests. Okay, so now that it's a system work request, you probably want to come and fill in functional locations and some other information. So let's do that. Let's go inside the work request, which is still a work request until somebody is assigned to the job. So I will assign myself now. And I will write a message. Okay, so this is the message that the supervisor will send to the technician. In this case, the supervisor and the technician is me. It's the same person. But I think you get the idea. So let's change the functional location to just plant A. Okay, so once we do that, and we go back to the dashboard, I will see that work order 2994 has actually changed from a work request, because and now it's a work order, changed from a work request to a work order because it has been assigned to somebody. As you can see, there's nothing in here because the functional location levels that appear here are the functional location levels under plant, which is the only thing that we've set. So let's actually, just so we can see something in there, we'll just add something lower than plant. We go down to whatever, just something, let's put whatever. Okay, so we do that, and now if we go back to the dashboard, we can see that there's a bit more information. Okay, so basically now we went from an anonymous work request to a system work request and to a work order now. So now I am the technician. I'm going to do the job. I've just done it, whatever needed to be done, and I can read a message from my supervisor. Okay, fix this please. Okay, and okay, I finished the job. I fixed the problem. So this is my report. And I'm going to use something in here. Let's see if I have just find something in the system. Okay, let's just something. Okay, I'm just giving you an example of what's going on. So I had one of these systems to here, and I finished the job, so I set this as complete. So this is a work order that now is set as complete. I'm going to add some time, default time rate, so it's not overtime 2 or 5. This is all items that you add in the system, and you can ask us for support if you need to help to set this up. So I took half an hour to do this, and it's the job is take a look and fix. It's not very good, but you see what I mean, and this is an electrical job. Okay, so I'll do that. Actually, I forgot to do something in here on the task that I just created. You see that it has not saved any tasks because actually this the task okay, you need to add it in here. Okay, so now took a look. Actually, let me finish something. I delete that and let me add an electrical job. Took a look. Okay, and now save it. Okay, so that took me half an hour, and it's got a default rate, and it's an electrical task. So save. Okay, and let's just take a look, see if everything is saved as it should be. Okay, so we've got two reports, the original from the supervisor and then the technician's report. Then parts that were used, and I will go through the parts because there's an important issue here, or important thing that needs to be considered here. And then the tasks, which is what I just did at the end, half an hour for an electrical job by this user. This is obviously important to calculate labor costs on reports. Then okay, here you can see that the part was used and it's pending approval. So if you're as a supervisor, now that the user, let's actually do that. Okay, so the user has finished this. Okay, and as a supervisor you can see that 2994 is on my list here. It's going to load, is complete. So I need to go and see if I can close this work order. So at the moment, and until a work order reaches the state of complete, it's still, you can still edit it. There is some permissions to allow you to do this, but you can still edit it. So let's say I'm the supervisor. I was going to the parts that are pending approval. So let's go to 64, just confirm this part. The way you do this is approvals pending on the equipment 64 properties. You go in, and yes, I will approve this. Okay, now just to confirm, if we go back to the work order and then to the parts tab, we will see that it was pending before but now is approved. So the process for spare parts is complete also in what regards the work order. Now you can close a work order before you approve it. It will still log the information, but I've decided that actually I've decided to show you this process because this is the normal process that the work order takes. Okay, so now as a supervisor I'm very happy with this, and I just want to know, okay, job, I want to add job complete, done well, I don't know, something like that. Inform the request user, something like that. The user. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this order that was complete to close because I'm happy with it. So I save it, and okay, let's see what happened to the order now. And basically this is it. We went anonymous work request to a system work request to a work order that was assigned to a work order that had work and information logged onto it, to a work order that was complete by the technician, and finally to a work order that was closed by the supervisor. And a closed order looks like this. It cannot be edited anymore and is forever in the system, storing the information related to this job. If you want to know what happened and who did what when, you come at any time to the work order log and you can see basically the times and what changed and every time that the work order was manipulated. So it was created from anonymous work request, then the work order assignment changed to this, to myself, and it changed to assign. So here it became work order, then from assigned to complete by the technician, and parts were reserved. So it tells you that there were some parts that were reserved in this work order. And then finally the supervisor changed the status from complete to closed, and the process, the workflow on this work order is complete. Now quickly also, the last thing I'd like to show you in terms of configuration, we already saw the work order and work request module per user group, but there is an extra item here which is the work orders and anonymous work requests configuration module. Okay, in here you will have to go through this. There's some hints on how to set this up, and basically this specifies what happens to a work request in terms of assignment to plants and departments every time that one work request is generated. Basically, and usually, if you have a central maintenance department, then all work requests that are generated in the system are forwarded to that maintenance department. This is where you set that behavior. And the last thing is the anonymous work requests configuration for the form that people see. This is a field where you can add whatever information you think is relevant for people that are not logged in the system to know, or information to leave. And usually, as far as I know, a lot of our users ask people to include a phone number or an email so that they can be contacted once the problem is solved or for more information. So this is the work request to work order closing process of CMMS. If you have any problem, any questions, please email us anytime, or use the user forums on our website at CMMS.com. Thank you very much.